Hello everyone, so I'm back with another video. This is GOAT Format War League Week 2, and I got paired with Trishula 93, who I know is a turbo player. So just get right into the match. So I'm going first. Start with upstart here, which draws heavy. Use the other upstart, which draws spy. So this is like the classic decision you have. Do you want to set deco? Do you want to set spy? And you also get the Sangen thrown in here as well. I think I actually set Sangen because I wasn't 100% sure that he is on turbo, and Sangen is also just fine versus turbo as well. So yeah, I just go for Sangen. Spy is more standard though. So he starts with knock, then plays upstart. But the reason I don't set Book of Moon, by the way, is because if he's on warrior, I don't care about protecting Sangen. And if he's on turbo, I also don't care about Book of Mooning breaker. And if he's on turbo, it might take a really long time for this book to actually be used, so it'll get in the way of Heavy Storm. I also have Breaker in hand, so if I want to summon Breaker, I would be risking MST on my book, whereas if you don't set book, you can Breaker, destroy an MST without it being chained. Okay, so he did upstart knock and sets a monster and a back row. Go to main phase, no dust shoot. So I have to think. There's 3 plays here. You could do breaker, you could set spy, you could set Koichi. I guess there's even potential summon spy or Koichi with Book of Moon in hand. And also his set could be Faith, and he has Knock Engrave, so that would be more reason to potentially summon them. But I think if you're going to summon something, it would probably just be Breaker instead. Yeah. So I think what I do here is start with Thunder Dragon, just in case he's doing something weird with holding Dust Shoot. And I also want him to potentially be scared of ringing or Regeki breaking Breaker, because if he does that, I can drop BLS. So it's a slim chance, but sometimes people might just let it go in fear of BLS. And I think already at this point I decided that I was going to summon Breaker. Let me see if I use it. Yeah, I already decided I would summon Breaker. Let me just check the log. Yeah, I summoned Breaker pretty quickly after shuffling deck. The reason I go for Breaker is just because it's mostly because he has Knock Engrave. So if this set monster is Faith and he takes Knock, now I could play the game in an aggressive way if he doesn't have Spy to block me. So that's why I want to start with Breaker instead of setting the flips. Though setting the flips, I think it's fine as well. Sometimes this back row will be like MST, but a lot of the time it's just going to be ring or jar, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. It's ring. I don't chain book because there's no point. Is there any point of setting a bluff here? I don't think so. Well, let's say that's like spy. No, I think he'll still attack with both spies regardless of setting heavy storm. Okay, I do set heavy. It's fine. I guess it like protects you from flip spy plus summon something else, which would take like 4,000. So it does that. And he also might just play into it, and I'm cool just taking a 1-for-1 storm. So he doesn't flip his monster, sets a monster and a back row. So you have to think, if he has faith, would he have flipped? It's hard to say because that decision definitely depends on your hand. And I don't have any reads on his hand right now. But it's pretty reasonable to just keep faith set and wait for knock to be live. Let's see what happens here. So I draw knock, which is good. So I'm definitely not storming. So the question is, which one do I want to knock? The first set could still be Night Assailant. It could still be Night Assailant. Serpent is really unlikely, but it's technically possible. Sangan, would Sangan have flipped? It's actually possible for Sangan not to have flipped because I have live Chaos Sorcerer and I don't necessarily just summon Chaos Sorcerer and attack a set last turn. So Sangan could stay set still here. So I think overall that the new set is more dangerous to me from my point of view. And I'll just make my decision on what I want to do with Spy and Dekoichi based on what I knock. So I knock Spy. And do I summon Spy here and just attack? Or do I want to summon Dekoichi with the book play? I think because it could still be Night Assailant, I just want to summon Spy. Because I'll still have book Dekoichi for future turns if this ends up being Faith and gets knock. Yeah. Plus he already knows I have a Spy in my hand because I only banished 2, so I don't really want to give away the information of Deco. Yeah. So he doesn't get the knock, which is... It could mean 2 things. It could mean he already has another knock. But if he already has another knock, do you think he would have just flipped Faith last turn and used Upstart? Maybe not, because he had Spy. He's just cool setting Spy and resolving that before before doing Faith Upstart. So, obviously when he takes Upstart, you can assume that he needs... that drawing 1 is important. So he probably doesn't have much going on right now with his hand. So the next question here is, do I set Book of Moon? I mean, his back row could potentially still be heavy, right? Because I burned the breaker already, so he doesn't have to be worried about that, about setting Heavy Storm and getting it breakered. I think overall I don't want to set Book of Moon because, I mean, it's good if he top decks breaker. Yeah, I don't know. You could go either way here. I choose to keep it in hand. He goes for Upstart. Summons Dekoichi. It's like, let's say I had book set here. Am I really booking Spy? This is actually like part of the reason I didn't set book, because in these situations, I don't really want to book the Spy anyway. I'm cool just losing the Spy. So I draw Jar Greed. Looks like only one play here is set Dekoichi, set Jar. He attacks, so that's my confirmation that he doesn't have the second knock. Yeah. I draw into Dust Shoot. He sets a monster. I draw Faith. So activate Jar. I do it in draw phase. I do it in draw phase because I've already tested this back row for Dust Shoot, and I want to give the illusion like I'm maybe trying to draw Serpent or something with a face down discard trap. Because let's pretend this was a discard trap. I would want to be looking for Serpent with Jar in standby phase or draw phase. So it's important to be consistent even when you don't have it. Otherwise, you're just giving it away. So that Jar drew Chaos Sorcerer, which is really good here, because this Dekoichi is his dark, though he could easily just have another dark set here. But with Book of Moon and Dust Shoot, I think I'm definitely wanting this to be the turn where I make my play. So I'm just gonna wait, do I storm? I think I have to storm, because if I go Sorcerer hit Book, that's pretty bad. If I go Storm hit Book, that's also bad, but at least I didn't have to burn Sorcerer then. So yeah, and obviously if you play Solemn, it's a easy Storm first. And just set everything. Pass. No reason to wait on Dust Shoot here. He'll be good enough to like play around it if I give him the chance. Like he'll set a card before flipping up his whatever monster this is. So just use it right now. So his hand is Thunder Dragon, Sinister, Tsukuyomi, Sangan. So his hand doesn't have a Chaos Sorcerer out, but his set monster could easily just be Knight Assailant. And let's see, what do I have for Faith? I have Storm, Knock, Double Upstart. If this is Knight Assailant, or really any flip, the Tsukuyomi would just destroy me, because my set is just Book of Moon, so I can't do anything to it. So you don't even really have to look at anything else. I don't care about Sangan, Serpent, or Thunder Dragon. Tsukuyomi is just the big one here. So I just have to select Tsuk. And he does have Knight Assailant. Just destroy Sorcerer. He'll use Thunder Dragon. Tributes for Thunder Dragon. So I have a decision here. I think some people might just like automatically allow this without even thinking about Book. But Book is actually just easily correct, because next turn you get to, first of all, see your next draw, which could be a lot of things like Pot, Graceful, which would make this Faith game ending. But you also get to this, you get more knowledge on what you should pick up with this Faith. You even have the option to take Book, essentially. And obviously, I'll be tributing the Faith for Thunder Dragon to destroy his Thunder Dragon, which allows me to take control of the board. And he can't even out it yet. He would just have to play defense with Sangan and Serpent, while this Faith is giving me potentially Knock or Upstart to get more stuff. So it's just Book of Moon here. He passes, I draw Dust Shoot, which is live still. I think with Dust Shoot now, I don't really care about Book, because I'd be protecting from what with Book exactly? Snatch? Because Dust Shoot will handle anything like Chaos, so Breaker, Tribe. So I don't care about Book. So it's going to be between Knock and Upstart. So what is Knock doing? Knock is banishing Sangan and Serpent. But if he doesn't draw anything good, my Dust Shoot will get rid of the Sangan. And then he'll just set Serpent. And I don't really care too much about knocking the Serpent. So I think I just have to go for Upstart, which can just give me really good cards. And advance my game state more than those other cards. And it gives me a really good card, BLS. Because now I get to put him on a clock. I know he can't answer BLS, and I will be Dust Shooting him. He does have a 1 in 25, well, not... Well, he has a second Upstart, Pot, Graceful. It's really like 1 in 21 or 1 in 22 of drawing Snatch. But you just have to summon BLS here. He has 9400, and he has infinite stall with Serpent. So if you don't summon BLS, he'll just be able to stall forever. So this is just making it so you win. Essentially next turn, if I draw a monster, this is 46, which drops him to 48. And Dust Shoot obviously gets rid of some BLS outs like Tribe and Chaos. Let's see what he drew. He drew a meaningless Dust Shoot. So I'm just gonna send the Sangan. I send Sangan because I want to attack for another 46 next turn, which I can do through Serpent because I don't care about him having Serpent. Whereas if he had Sangan, I might care a little more. I would still have to attack into it, but I have this choice, so I'd rather attack into Serpent. He sets the Serp. I draw Knock, which does nothing. No reason to use Knock here, just attack for another 46. No reason to set Knock either. It's not going to protect from... It's not going to bluff off anything. Say he draws Snatch. Would he banish, maybe? If he draws Snatch? Or would he attack? It's actually possible he banishes. But I think with him on 200 life points, he'd be trying to end the game as fast as possible. So I think he would still attack, most likely. So just keep Knock in hand, seems right. He draws Upstart, and there's Snatch. Unfortunate. So now I'm on the clock, so I have to draw the out now. I'm at 48. He still has known what? Serpent, Dust Shoot, and Thunder Dragon. I have Knock here, so I will at least knock the Serpent. So he won't be able to kill me next turn at all, really. I draw a useless Dust Shoot. I gain 1,000. Activate Knock, and I'll obviously set the Dust Shoot. He attacks, which drops me to 28. And now he tribute sets over the BLS. Surely he doesn't think that my back row was a Snatch answer, because there's just no way that I would ever take 3,000 there. But he's... my breaker's gone too. So I'm not sure about this play. Yeah, my heavy is gone and my breaker's gone. I only have MST. I could still top deck Discard Trap. But yeah, anyway, that's what he does. So I draw a really good card, Pot of Greed, which gives me Sorcerer and Faith. And that's just game, because I know that's Thunder Dragon, and I get to attack for 300, which is game. Let's say he didn't do... Let's say he didn't tribute over. What does he have? He has Tribe, Dust Shoot. So what would he have done with Tribe, Dust Shoot? He probably... First of all, he should set this Dust Shoot to at least make me think about making a play like this. Because it's not guaranteed that he sets Dust Shoot. This Tribe, because this Tribe is also unknown, so that could have been a real trap card. And he doesn't have. He's still missing a lot of defensive cards from his graveyard, so it would not have been an easy decision to just go Chaos Sorcerer, Summon Faith. But if he doesn't tribute the BLS, I would still have Summon Sorcerer, banish it, Summon Faith, attack for game, unless he sets Tribe, which is not great. Okay, on to game 2. I draw a pretty nice looking hand. But he draws a really strong hand. So he's got Charity with Knight Assailant Koichi along with Thunder Dragon. And he has Dust Shoot, which sends away my Thunder Dragon. So here we get the situation again where they Dust Shoot you and they see Minecon. So if you don't use Minecon here, you get this mind game the rest of the game where they could be setting something real, they could be setting something fake to play around your Minecon, and you just never know. You're just playing a complete guessing game. You'd have to go with your gut the whole time. So, in general, I like to just use Minecon here. Not always. But if I think I can just hit like a Koichi, which he just got back with Knight Assailant, and it's very reasonable for him to just set. I'm just going to use Minecon in this situation, which gives me Dust Shoot, which is very good. There's a decision between summoning Sangan and setting Sangan. Okay, so I have the decision between Sangan summon and Sangan set. I think I don't really care that much about knock. I still have like Tribe Serp. I do have Dust Shoot to get rid of Chaos Sorcerer, but I also want to get rid of some other stuff. Like you could have double Chaos Sorcerer. I want to get rid of Tsukiyomi potentially. I think the best play is just set Sangan along with the trap cards. And just no reason not to shoot right away. So let's see. So we see a hand. So without seeing his hand, this game looked like it was a really bad situation for me. But once you see the hand, he has nothing. Heavy does nothing, MSC does nothing, Mirror Force does nothing, Serpent does nothing, Thunder Dragons do nothing. The only card that does something is BLS, and I'm sending that back. Alright, so Mirror, Heavy MST. He attacks into the Sangan. Do I want to jar here to give me a better search with Sangan? And what I mean by that is just when I jar, I get to see the card I draw, so I get a more optimized Sangan search based on more information. I think I do just jar. He does have heavy MST, but I know he won't use it. It is possible to maybe, let me think. let's say I search spy, I set spy, and I draw something to set into the back row. I could set that, and maybe that baits out his heavy, because since he knows that I know he has heavy, he would be cool just taking that. But let's see what happens. I do just decide to go for the jar play. And once I drop BLS, that completely changes what I want to search with Sanguine, right? Because now I could take Faith, which gives me Mind Con, and then I can summon BLS, which he can't currently answer. And if I set Spy, what happens? He won't attack Spy. So that would just be stalling for nothing, really. I would still have to end up using Tribe to kill the Koichi, which I don't really want to do. See, I'm taking Faith. He sets a known Serpent and a back row. Back row could be Mirror Force, Heavy, or MST. It's hard to say which one he sets, really. I actually remember I'm gonna make a read on this back row eventually that is just wrong, and it's gonna cost me this game. Anyway, only play here is just set Faith pass. He tributes for Thunder Dragon, attacks, I take Mind Con, and he attacks for 16. He passes, and I draw Break. Yeah, this is actually a huge misplay I make on this turn. I believe I'm just going to summon BLS and attack. It was basically relying on him not setting Mirror Force. But thinking about it now, like, I could have Kaiku. This is post side. I could have Kaiku that he would want to set Mirror Force for. So yeah, let me just go over what I should do before I say what I did do. I should summon Tribe. And just kill both his monsters, discarding Knight, Serpent, take the Faith back. Would I then set Regeki Break into possible MST? I don't think so. It's also, you also might not want to take the Faith out of grave. But I think I have enough life, and I know his hand can't pressure right now. So I should summon Tribe and just do that. But I'm just going to end up summoning BLS and just saying he doesn't have Mirror Force. And the reason I do this is because I wanted to pressure really hard. Because his hand just couldn't do anything to BLS. But yeah, that's going to end up costing me the game. I don't do anything main phase 2. Is that right? Am I missing something here? Why don't I, like, at least set Serpent? Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm obviously just like baiting Heavy or MST, but I can also do that by setting Serpent. He just attacks. And I just take both. He sets back row. I think I expect back row to be the MST most likely. Could be Storm potentially. Oh, right. I don't set Serpent because... yeah, this makes more sense. I don't set Serpent because I don't have the Faith Engrave anymore. I could have just set Knight Assailant, but I chose not to. So I'm not doing anything. Summoning the Tribe, killing that, and attacking Deco. And I'm just going to lose here because I don't Minecon. And this is just like the thing with Minecon. When they know you have it, they can set Faith here. And it's just, if you Minecon, you're just going to Minecon Serpent, which he easily could have just had Serpent, right? Because he's just trying to get more pressure on the board. He's trying to summon his other Thunder Dragon and just end the game. And let's say, okay, let's think from his point of view. Say he has Faith and his Serpent, and he can just set Serpent and put pressure with Thunder Dragon. It would be 100% safe for him to just set Serpent. Whereas if you set Faith, there's some risk because I could use Minecon. Well, that's not even a risk actually. I just don't have anything engraved. Yeah. This game's just going to be lost. And once he flips Faith, I already know this game's over. Let's just see how it ends. He also has heavy MST, so he could end it whenever he feels like it. That's right now. Looks like I'm using Ryeki Break for maybe like potential Tsukiyomi. It's just like doesn't matter. Duo. I do like discard in the wrong order to get owned by Duo, but I don't think it matters much. Yeah, it's just game anyway. So I go first now. Alright, that's a good hand. Start with Thunder Dragon. Use Upstart. Use Pot. Alright. This is game 3, so just set to Koichi to scout his hand for Minecons and stuff like that. And then you get to play perfectly after that with Faith. If you were to set Faith now, and he has, let's just say he has Minecon plus a Trinity card, I just could lose the game when I have an Insane Open. And I set Ring because, yeah, why not? He has Breaker, maybe Kaiku. And his hand is just all monsters, so I already know I've pretty much won the game at this point, so I just have to figure out how not to lose the game. And so let's see here. I obviously don't care about Breaker because I have Ring. And if I were to put back Breaker, he can kind of mind game me a little bit Maybe he could set Night Assailant. But like I'm cool just ringing Breaker. And then he has to draw something. But let's say he summons Breaker, I ring it. What card can help him come back? It would be Thunder Dragon, right? So I have to get rid of BLS. Because that's the only way that I can possibly lose this game, really. Summons Breaker, I use Ring. He just has to pass. I flip Deco, draw Deco. So I know his hand is all monsters. I can safely just set Faith now. And attack for 14. He draws Deco, destroys Deco, sets a back row, and Wing Blasts the Faith. Takes back Deco. Okay, I just set another Faith. I actually thought about this for a little bit, but nothing to really... Like, yeah, if he draws Knock, I do lose both Faiths now. But I should still be fine winning with Deco plus Minecons. He draws Charity. And he had... Did he have Night Assailant in hand? No. Charity discards Thunder Dragon Deco, and he does draw Knock now. Did he have Faith in Grave? Okay, right. He knows I have... Wait, does he know about my Minecons? 1 second. No, he doesn't know about my Minecons. He just decides to keep Faith in his hand because he knows it's over. Oh, he has Dust Shoot. He wants to scout my hand first, and he sees all the Minecons. So now he just won't be able to ever set that Faith. It's just going to be a dead card. So you put back my Deco, and I just upstart, which gives me Sook. There is an option to just pass here, and then maybe next turn pass again and discard Night Assailant, take Deco, discard Thunder Dragon, but that's just bad. You set Night Assailant now and set up the Sook Night Assailant play. And you get damage that way as well. He sets a back row. Only one play here is just flip Knight, summon Sook, hit for 11. He goes for Ring. I forget, do I know his hand? Do I know about a Chaos Sorcerer in his hand? I do, yeah. His hand is Faith, Chaos Sorcerer. So I'm obviously not going to summon BLS to get it banished by Sorcerer. I want him to summon Sorcerer so that I can Minecon or BLS it. I do play into potential Dust Shoot this way, but it is what it is. He drops Sorcerer. When he drops Sorcerer here, it could mean that he did draw Dust Shoot. Nothing flips. So what do I do? I know his hand is Faith. Do I go for BLS here? Or do I just go for Sook Minecon? Hit for 11. The thing is, if I summon BLS and then like banish, I'm kind of tempted to just summon Sook and play into Torrential, which I don't really want to do. So I lean towards still holding BLS. Yep, that's what I do. And if he has Book of Moon here, I can just main phase 2 BLS to banish the sorcerer. Do I set the Dust Shoot bluff? Is there a reason for it? I guess there's no reason not to. It could potentially bait a back row MST. Yeah. Sets another back row. I draw knock, and now he draws the Dust Shoot for the BLS. Okay, now what? I could set Suk to tribute for Thunder Dragon, but if his back row is real, that's just a -1 and like a waste of 2 turns. And the Suk is making knock live, which he knows about now. So yeah, I prefer just doing nothing here. He draws Duo. Okay. Which hits Thunder Dragon. I discard the other Thunder Dragon and draw Book. Do I just pass again? I don't think there's anything I want to book, so... Is there Kaiku maybe? I haven't seen Kaiku at all from him though, so... Maybe it's not even correct to even think about Kaiku. I like just passing here. He draws Spy. And I draw Chaos Sorcerer, which is live. So... with Book in hand, I think I definitely want to summon Sorcerer. Is there a reason to just go like Suk Knock instead, or Suk Minecon? Definitely not Suk Minecon. What about Suk Knock? No. I think it's just Sorcerer. With the intention of attacking or banishing. Definitely banish. He goes for Torrential. He knows I have Suk, so maybe he could have waited here. I don't remember if I already decided or not whether I was summoning Suk. But with Book, I probably won't play into it, since I have just a really good position here. I know his hand is Faith, so I'm just going to force him to flip the TT himself with like a summon. I'm looking at Graves and wondering again whether I should set Book. There's still no way that I can lose to any top deck, so I'm cool just keeping it in my hand still. I did decide to set it though. He draws Thunder Dragon. I draw Breaker, which pretty much kind of ends the game on the spot. He draws Suk. I have Book. I'm wondering if I should use Book. No, there's no reason to wonder, just use it. I just need one monster. Is Sorcerer live? It is, so that's the game. Alright, so that's week 2 of the Go Format War League. I will do week 3 at some point. Thanks for watching.